how close were we, Bob, to losing the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay, Wisconsin?
But no, it's done so. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be afraid to look one voter in the eye and say, the things I promised you 23 years ago are true today, and they are.
How many voters did you look in the eye when you were trying to sell it?
Well, I tell you what, we went to Madison 15 times, 15 trips, just to get a bill that could be voted on, so we could do the project at all. Mm-hmm. And politicians weren't very happy with us. First of all, they didn't want to deal with another stadium. Once we brought Ron Wolf in fall of '91, those calls stopped immediately. Everybody knew, hey, they do want to win. They're making a big move. And Ron Wolf not only took over this team and made it a winner, but when you think of the moves he made, his first three moves were gigantic. Mike Holmgren was the hottest assistant coach in the league, could have gone any place in the league. He came to Green Bay. Mm-hmm. When Ron traded for the #1 draft choice to Atlanta for Brett Favre, fans used to call me and say, who the hell did you just hire in, Wolf? And what's this madman doing? And then he goes out and he gets Reggie White when nobody thought we had a prayer for it. Reggie White's traveling the world. Everybody's blowing up balloons and playing horns and giving him parades. He comes to Green Bay. We took him over to a little restaurant and took him down the stadium. Ron Wolf walked him down the ramp into the stadium and said, Reggie said, look at the names up in this bowl. He says, you're already a great player in this league, a hero in this league, an all-pro. You can go any place and do that. You come here and you can be a legend. And Reggie himself told me, he said, as I got on the plane to leave Green Bay, I turned to my agent, Jimmy Sexton, and I said, don't be surprised if this is where we wind up. So Ron made the big moves. We took off immediately. I mean, I was shocked we could win the Super Bowl in 5 years myself. But Ron Wolf and Mike Holmgren deserve so much credit for turning this franchise. We had 24 years where we had 5 winning seasons, 2 playoff appearances, a fan base that was extremely upset. And now we've had, after those men, 32 years of winning football, 2 quarterbacks. One's in the Hall of Fame, the other one will be there shortly. And it's a different franchise. We were very close to losing the vote, Trevor. 1 week before the vote was on a Tuesday. 1 week before the vote, we took a poll. St. Norbert College took a poll for us every week to see where we stood, and it showed it was dead even, 50-50. So my politicians came to me, my counselors, and said, all right, Bob, the team's playing in Buffalo this weekend. You've got to stay here. We got to take you out on the town. You got to go see people. So they picked me up at 6 o'clock on a Saturday morning. I went to 15 restaurants, table to table. I went and stood in front of Walmart, greeted people going in, coming out for 2 hours. Then I went over to the pier and I went door to door. We started at 6 in the morning. We finished probably about 4:30 in the afternoon. I'll never forget, I got in the car and this guy said, what do you think? And I said, it's 50-50. It was that tight. I could approach the table and I could say they either were glad to see me or they thought, don't you come close to us. They didn't want to see us at all. The night of the vote, we started out in the first votes in were cast out in the outer areas. It was strictly a Brown County vote. And it was very bleak. In fact, my wife and I were going to sit home and watch it on television. We both got so upset, I said, we got to go to the stadium. So we got in the car, drove to the stadium. Everybody's sitting around, nobody's saying a word. We're all watching it on TV. And then all at once it started to pick up. But when it was over, the vote was 53% to 47%. Now, would that have cost us the team? I don't think it would have immediately. But like I say, there's no way. $4 million a year, when you got a quarterback now making $60 million a year himself. You would have been out of business. So one way or another, we would have been out of Green Bay.